Tonight on YCN News, last night's storm wreaks havoc in our region, downing trees and power lines. A fine arts exhibition in Sunapee, New Hampshire draws in the area's best artists. And we speak to the new athletic director for Stevens High School. For more news, weather, and sports, stay tuned for YCN News, bringing you your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, everyone. It is Tuesday, August 4th. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I'm Kurt Weedy, and welcome to this edition of YCN News. Well, with the Twin States still recovering from last night's severe summer storm, the National Weather Service has issued another severe thunderstorm watch for all of New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, Massachusetts, and parts of New York until 8 o'clock tonight. Now, if you are traveling tonight, please be wary of the weather conditions. We will have more on weather in just a bit, including a look at damage from last night's storm and the forecast for the next few days. The tragedy in New Hampshire's North Country is still under investigation tonight. State Fire Marshal William Degnan provided updates in a press conference today, and Governor Maggie Hassan is asking for help from citizens, taking to Twitter to ask anyone with images from last night's events to contact the Fire Marshal's office. Contact information for that is shown below. Degnan stated that officials worked throughout the night and that investigation continues into the collapse of a circus tent during a severe storm that killed 2 spectators and injured at least 22 other people. Authorities are looking at how the tent was constructed at the Lancaster Fairgrounds and are also talking to survivors and witnesses at the event. Governor Hassan confirmed a father and his daughter were killed. The 6-year-old girl attended the circus with her father and approximately 100 other people, all under the tent to watch the circus presented by Sarasota, Florida-based Walker International Events. Now, at the press conference, New Hampshire Fire Marshal William Degnan stated that the circus operator was consulting counsel and had not requested an inspection of the tent. A building and fire code assessment is also being done at this time. Now, additionally, the National Weather Service is investigating the strong storm cell, which was centered over the Lancaster region between 5:30 and 5:45 in the afternoon yesterday, contained high winds, possibly with 60-mile-an-hour winds that blew through the area just as the first of 2 scheduled shows was about to begin. Now, when asked why the show was not canceled after the storm watches were posted, Degnan said that that question could not be immediately answered, and the responsibility to make that determination was that of the circus operator. Factors like wind loading for the tent and specifications for constructing the tent are being assessed by New Hampshire officials. Degnan did add that aerial photographs were also being taken, and the investigation will be an ongoing fact-finding mission for the state. Well, local fire departments and power companies across the region were kept busy last night and this morning, removing fallen trees and power lines from the state's roadways. Last night's severe thunderstorm warning definitely delivered, with strong winds and rain hammering the region. Yesterday, the National Weather Service issued a severe thunderstorm warning until 9 p.m. last night. Well, around 5 in the afternoon, the skies released their fury in our region, bringing howling winds and driving rain. Trees and power lines alike felt the impact of the natural onslaught and fell onto roadways all across our region. Plainfield, New Hampshire in particular was hit hard by this sudden summer storm, knocking down huge trees at the base and blocking roadways, oftentimes bringing down power lines with them. One tree blocked a section of 12A, and a detour required drivers to drive through a field. Further north, a 3.5-mile section of Route 12A, from the Cornish-Windsor covered bridge up to Town Line Equipment, was blocked off due to multiple fallen trees, requiring commuters to seek an alternate route. One local automotive mechanic had a large pine tree fall towards his business and missed a row of cars by only inches. Town and power company trucks raced across the region last night and this morning like a colony of ants, quickly clearing roadways and repairing power lines. Power outages plagued many residents in Plainfield, and Eversource worked hastily to restore lost power for residents. Although the storm wreaked havoc across the area, it did provide a spectacle to behold in the skies, stretching a canvas of orange, yellow, white, gray, and blue across the evening sky. Now, as power crews continue to clean up the roadways in our region, please keep in mind that delays and detours may add to your commute time, so plan accordingly. Well, coming up next on YCN News, we'll take a look at the Fine Arts exhibition happening in Sunapee, New Hampshire. Stick around for that story.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News, everyone. Thank you for staying with us on this Tuesday evening. I'm Kurt Weedy. Well, a lot of families gather around the television to cheer for their favorite Olympic sport, from gymnastics to ice skating, and it did seem like the whole world cheered for the Jamaican bobsled team. Well, we could be cheering for a new sport this time around. Ultimate Frisbee could be played at future Olympic Games after the International Olympic Committee, or IOC, recognized flying disc sports this past Sunday. In fact, Newsweek magazine reports that the World Flying Disc Federation, which is Frisbee's international governing body, was granted full recognition by the IOC during a meeting in Malaysia on Sunday. The nearly 30-year-old organization oversees sports such as Ultimate Frisbee, or Ultimate for short, disc golf, and freestyle, which all uses Frisbees. The Sports International Federation has 65 member associations across 62 countries. It said it was extremely honored and humbled to be given full recognition. Jason Stadler is chair of a Lake Sunapee Region Recreation Commission and said that Ultimate Frisbee is a sport for all ages to enjoy and one in which guys and gals can participate in together. Well, the town of Sunapee, New Hampshire is holding their Summer Town Meeting, a chance for part-time residents to offer input into the operation of their part-time communities. And just down the road in New London, New Hampshire, a non-resident taxpayer meeting was held last night. New London Town Administrator Kim Hallquist told YCN News Today that about 12 families were in attendance, and all department heads and the select board did presentations as well. There was a follow-up meeting, a second informational session concerning the timing of the raising of the levels of Pleasant Lake in the summer and winter seasons. That meeting resulted in a new operation schedule being adopted. According to Hallquist, the new schedule includes lowering Pleasant Lake at the end of November for the winter level and raising it to the summer level as close to ice out as possible in the springtime. Now, residents in attendance were in full support of the new schedule, and Hallquist noted that members of the Pleasant Lake Protective Association were also in attendance at last night's meeting. Well, in an update on the case of a Claremont, New Hampshire man missing since April, the New Hampshire Fish and Game Office said yesterday that it does plan to search a series of islands in the Connecticut River, near the site where the man's car was found. 26-year-old Nick Washburn has been missing since April 10th, after he fled the scene of an incident on Block Avenue in Claremont before police had arrived there. Police discovered Washburn's car later that evening crashed against a guardrail on a bridge spanning the river. Washburn's family and friends have made countless pleas over social media for him to return home, but with no tips as to his whereabouts as of yet, state officials have made a plan to search the waters, although no date has been set as of this time. YCN's John O'Connor will be by in a bit to continue his conversation about the League of New Hampshire Craftsmen's Fair at Mount Sunapee Resort. Well, while you're in the area, there is another art exhibit you might want to check out. The Fine Arts exhibition is taking place at Sunapee Landing Trading Company on Route 103 in Sunapee, New Hampshire. The theme is classical realism, as always, and the sale features a group of top New England area artists, some of whom will be on hand to discuss their work. Artist and co-curator Mary Jane tells us what to expect from the Fine Arts Fair.
Well, this event goes for 9 days, and this is called the fourth Fine Art Exhibition. And we're growing each year, and we have a few more artists each year. But we do champion classical realism in this show. And so we hope to have things that you've perhaps not seen before. Very original type of work, not so many prints and decorative type things. This really is a step up from most of what you can get locally. However, we have people who have come from Vermont and a few other states, Connecticut and Massachusetts, but we pick them very carefully so that when they have been in this show for most of the whole 9 days, they also get to exhibit in the gallery where this is being hosted at Sunapee Landing Trading Company. So the show goes for 9 days, and it's a very genteel show. There's not a lot of music, there's nothing to eat. There's just a quiet, genteel time when you can watch painters work, and you can watch painters speak about their work and interact with you. It's really a very lovely time. It's a very personal interaction with the artists.
The exhibit is taking place through this Sunday from 10 in the morning to 5 p.m. It will be held rain or shine. Coming up next on YCN News, we've got some River Valley Chronicle for you that may interest any hikers or bikers in our area. Elizabeth Durazio speaks with Russell Hirschler of the Upper Valley Trails Alliance, which hosts the Trail Finder website, a website that I have used personally for my mountain biking segments. Stick around for that useful conversation.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Mike Pizzone. Well, it was another unstable day out there with more severe thunderstorms in our area, but that should pave the way for some much more comfortable conditions later this evening. Those severe storm warnings are in effect for another couple hours until about 8, setting the stages for a nice cool evening otherwise, with temperatures bottoming out at about 58 degrees. There's about a 30% chance for more thunderstorms between noon and 4 p.m. tomorrow, with temperatures maxing out at around 74 degrees during the day, with partly cloudy skies. Skies will remain partly cloudy tomorrow evening with a low of 56, before a bright sunny day Thursday with a high of 75 during the day and a low of around 56 Thursday evening. Now let's see what's happening in the area with a quick look at our community calendar. Windsor's Concert on the Commons series will continue tomorrow night with a free performance from About Gladys at 6 p.m. on the State Street Common in Windsor, Vermont. Audience members are encouraged to bring a blanket or chair and refreshments. The Charlestown VFW Post Hall on Lovers Lane Road will host its weekly bingo night tomorrow, with games beginning at 6:30 p.m. Food and soft drinks will be available, and games are the primary fundraiser for scholarships and other community donations. And of course, the 82nd Annual League of New Hampshire Craftsmen's Fair will continue through Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Mount Sunapee Resort in Newbury, New Hampshire. Cost is $12 for adults, $10 for seniors and students, and free for children under 12. Well, this week marks exactly 1 month since Doug Beaupre started as Stevens High School's newest athletic director, so I had a chance to check in with the former Newport AD to see how he's adjusted to his new position.
Yeah, it's been mostly meeting the folks here in Claremont and kind of getting used to the way, they do things here, and that's been a lot of fun, just meeting a lot of the people. There are a lot of people who are really interested in the Stevens athletics and want to help out, and so that's been very positive.
I also asked if he expected any sort of hassle from students and coaches at Newport disappointed he left for a rival school.
There's already been some kidding on the Newport side, but most of them get it. It's a shorter commute here. I can focus on athletic director duties instead of lining fields and dragging in fields and cutting checks and things like that. And there is a pay increase that comes along with it. And like I said, I can focus on athletic duties instead of teaching duties, because I was teaching half the day. So the Newport folks get it, and so now it's mostly some good-natured ribbing and whatnot. So
Beaupre also touched on the improvements that have been done to the school, and specifically the athletic department, over the summer.
The weight room, Brad Eaton's done a wonderful job setting that thing up, and it's very impressive in there. The gymnasium, the floor was completely redone, even sucking up to the NHIA. We've got two NHIA logos in either corner of the gym. The mats just came in today, and beautiful black mats. It's just going to look very, very sharp.
He added that he's enjoyed his time at the school so far this summer, but that there's one more thing that will make the job even better coming up.
It's been great meeting the coaches, and I've talked to all of the head coaches for the fall, and most of the head coaches throughout the school year. But you know, being able to meet the kids and, you know, just be around them. I mean, that's why we all do this, is because, you know, they try to keep us younger.
And the New Hampshire Fisher Cats had a rare night off last night, but the team will be back in action tonight when they travel to face the Richmond Flying Squirrels at 7. That's been your look at local sports. I'm Mike Pizzone.
Thanks, Mike. Well, tomorrow Mike and I will be trying out some frisbee golf again, this time at Mount Sunapee, and we'll have a look at that for you. After the break, we'll pick up part 2 of John O'Connor's interview with members of the League of New Hampshire Craftsmen. Today he'll be speaking with Zach Jonas, who is a bladesmith there. Stick around for that conversation.
The YCN News continues in a moment.